Okay, first 3 runs of week 7 done. I'm really hoping this is the last time I will need to run this week in the gym on the treadmill. My last 2 runs this week are 5 mile and 16. And if I have to do the 5 mile on the treadmill, that's not too bad, but 16 miles is a long time to be on a treadmill. The weather is supposed to be warming up just a little bit. It's supposed to stay above freezing. Hopefully we'll see more snow melting, which would mean that by the end of the week, I can do my run outside. Fingers crossed. Well, it's still pretty cold, but it looks like today will be my first day in about a week and a half getting to run outside. I don't know, you can see most of the snow has melted. We're still in the upper 30s, but the rain helped get rid of some of the leftover snow and ice. And I'm gonna go out for 5 miles today, which will also hopefully give me a good idea of what my 16 miles should look like for tomorrow. Again, hoping to do that here, outside, not on the treadmill. We'll see. 5 miles outside done. There were a few areas that were a little dicey, but overall not too bad. I think that if we see more rain or more melting today, I should be good for my 16 tomorrow. Excited about that. I mean, in some ways, no, I'm not excited to run 16 miles, but it will be the longest distance that I've run since maybe 2020, all in one go. So looking forward to that. It's a little chilly. I'm gonna get inside, stretch, and eat and shower. Okay. 16 miles, getting ready to go now. 40 degrees outside. Gonna do this. 16 miles done. My legs are dead. Really glad tomorrow's a rest day. And it just started to rain, so I'm gonna get my butt inside and start stretching. What a couple of weeks it has been. So this will be the recap for week 7 and 8. I was going to do a recap for week 7 last Saturday, but instead we spent most of the day at the ER. Like, clarification, everything's fine. What happened was my 7-year-old woke up at 8 in the morning with a fever, a really high fever. We gave her some Tylenol, the fever seemed to come down, and then at the usual dosing time, we saw her fever was up again, so we gave her more Tylenol. And about a half hour later, her fever had gone up more, to the point where we have one of the forehead thermometers, and it's read her one time at 105 point something and the second time at 104 point something, which I know that technically, like, especially with little kids, their temperatures will only go up so high, and the doctor at the ER, by the time we finally saw him, said that unless it gets up to like 108, he doesn't really worry, and that it just doesn't get that high for kids. But for me, it was one of those rather safe than sorry. We took her to urgent care first, and because COVID and RSV and flu cases are all 3 up so high right now, it was a 2.5 hour wait, and I just wasn't willing to wait that long at an outpatient clinic that didn't have emergency care if I felt like we needed it. So I'm really looking forward to the hospital bill, but at the same time, like, again, I would rather pay the hospital bill and not have any regrets about not getting her to the ER sooner. So we got her in, and everything was fine. They just recommended lots of fluids and normal stuff for flu, and that if she wasn't better within a week, to make sure to schedule something with her primary care doctor. She finally went back to school on Thursday because she woke up with finally a normal temperature. She had a mostly normal temperature on Wednesday, but at 1:30 at 1 in the morning on Wednesday morning, she barfed all over her bedding, and so her father and I were both up until about 3:30, changing her sheets, getting her cleaned up, getting her back to bed, actually on the couch, because we had to strip everything. We were gonna have to wash everything. Again, those are just craziness because of work schedule and weather. I ended up, again, having to adjust my running schedule a little bit, where I basically ran Sunday through Thursday. So instead of having a day off in the 5 days, I did 4-8, 4-8, 16. And I will honestly say, this was the first week that a part of my brain said, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if it's going to be worth it. If I'm already this tired just doing 16 miles, how am I going to manage to do 31? And then I had to get more perspective. That was in the middle of the pain cave in the 16-mile run, which I wasn't feeling super strong anyway, again, because we haven't been sleeping very well this week and we've just had a lot going on. But I then had to remind myself that when I was training for my marathon, I think my second longest training run was 16 miles, and I was doing that like a month before the marathon. And if I could do the marathon and do it while I had injured myself, I believe on my 16-mile training run, then I can do this and I will be okay. Like, I will get there. I've only finished 8 weeks. I have another 18 weeks to go. So just reminding myself that I've come a long way and I need to give my body a chance. Like, of course, I'm not anywhere close to being able to do 31 yet. I'm only a third of the way into the training schedule. So that's kind of where we're at. I've never been more grateful for a step back week. Not only is it shorter distances, well, at least the long run is a shorter distance, but it's also one less day of running, which in this case is going to be good because it's going to give me a little bit more wiggle room in terms of, okay, I don't need to run a medium run and then a long run. This one actually has the long run just set off by itself with a rest day before and after. In fact, I think 2 rest days before. I'll be glad when we get kind of back closer to spring and the temperatures warm up. Even if it's raining, at least it won't be hopefully as slippery because there won't be as much debris on the ground and it won't be as icy. So nutrition wise, didn't do super great this week. My stomach actually, I did have some issues yesterday, but they seem to be left over from whatever was going on with my stomach basically all week. I don't know if it was stress. I don't know if it was something that I ate, but I definitely had some just gurgliness. Don't know how else to describe that, but I've been trying to take my probiotics, having ginger, but I can tell that I'm like, this week I just didn't feel properly, partly because, again, my stomach wasn't feeling that great. But I think I also need to, really dial in how frequently I'm fueling on my long runs. And I think, I tried to do it every 4 miles yesterday, which means I did it, mile 4, mile 8, mile 12. I just think that's not enough. Either that or I need to figure out a way to eat more beforehand without feeling sick, that's the struggle. If I eat more beforehand, I tend to get cramps in my side or just it doesn't settle in time. So I think that I might need to move to, and I know other people do this who do ultra running. I might need to move to every 3 miles and just maybe either smaller amounts or just something. I need to figure something out though, because whatever I did this week, and again, maybe it was just that I was also super tired, did not have my rest day. It was kind of a crap show. Oh, other good news. Finally, registration for the Ultra opened. I did see, I think on the 50-miler page, I think there's a guy signed up for a 50-miler who's 80 years old. And so I'm like, okay, Rachel, you're not even 40. You're not even half his age. You don't have any excuse to not finish a shorter distance by almost 20 miles than what he is doing. So, yes, very excited. Registration finally opened. And, now there's no backing out. I've already paid for it and I'm signed up, so I got to do it. So hopefully this next week goes a little bit more smoothly. It's the week of Christmas. I am going to wrap this up because this has already become a very long video, and I will get some hopefully more and better footage this coming week. And I hope everyone out there is having a great day. Thanks for watching.